A piece of media is said to be seminal if it is strongly influencing to other pieces of media created after it. It is impossible to tell in the moment if this is true for anything, due to the retrospective angle one must take in order to make this determination. Games that are seemingly niche in the moment could have resounding impacts on creations made after it. What is colloquially known as Touhou is a set of bullet hell games created by a single developer, Zun. Originally created as a vehicle to get his music some exposure, the game became a cult classic, garnering a fan base primarily on the Japanese internet on sites like 2chan or Nico Nico Doga. The games themselves follow one of two protagonists of the player's choice, Reimu or Marissa, as you battle fairies and yokai in the world of Gensokyo. The lore is really elaborate and is a kitbash of multiple Eastern religions and philosophies. While the games stand very well on their own, Touhou's popularity can be largely attributed to Zun's laissez-faire approach to fan content. Zun created a set of 10 guidelines that any Touhou fan project must follow. I won't go through each of these, but the major beats include: fan work cannot purposefully damage Touhou's reputation. Fan work cannot try to pass itself off as official content. Fan work cannot contain excessive sexual content. These are among several other things. Needless to say, these lax guidelines allowed for a massive amount of fan content to be created, shared, and even monetized. This monetization bit acts as an incentive for even more Touhou content to be created. Even if you haven't played a Touhou game, you've certainly seen Touhou fan content, listened to music with Touhou motifs present, and played games with Touhou references. And so, I wish to go through just several bits of internet culture that are downstream from Touhou. There is no doubt you've seen this video before. In fact, you've probably seen it in a myriad of different ways. Bad apple in Minecraft, bad apple in ASCII, bad apple on a calculator, or even bad apple on a microcontroller. If a digital or analog system exists, someone will try to play bad apple on it. But how did this song and music video even come about? The original score by Zun is the background audio of Stage 3 of Touhou 4, Lotus Land. A remix was later released in 2007 by Alstromeria Records, adding a vocal track. Roughly a year later, user Mew on the Japanese video hosting site Nico Nico Doga would create a rough animatic for an idea of a music video accompanying the song. He titled this video, "Bad Apple, Please Someone Picturize It." The video depicted Touhou characters spelt out on a screen with music playing, with rough sketches of an apple being passed from character to character. This video's explicit purpose was to solicit help from someone with more technical skill so that this video could be realized. Numerous users took a crack at this. But it took a year for another user, Anira, to release what is now known as Bad Apple. The most defining feature of the music video is the black and white color scheme. It is this feature that allows it to be displayed on so many different mediums. When you have only two colors, it becomes simple to express video in simplified forms, like the signals displayed by an oscilloscope or the individual colors of Minecraft sheep. Another popular piece of Touhou fan music is Cirnos' Perfect Math Class. For context, in the manual for Touhou 9, Phantasmagoria of Flower View, a screen is shown with multiple elements being numbered, with a short label provided on the bottom of the screen. But the last entry, number 9, is shown with the ice fairy, Cirno, and is simply labeled Idiot, which gave rise to the popular depiction of Cirno being stupid. Cirnos' Perfect Math Class is a 2008 remix of Cirno's theme in Touhou 6, Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. The lyricism consists of Cirno attempting to prove to the other residents of Gensokyo that she isn't an idiot. The video currently sits at 13 million views on YouTube and almost 9 million on Nico Nico Doga. But this isn't the only remix of Cirno's theme to get popular. In May of 2008, Nico Nico user Jama would upload Kero 9 Destiny, a parody of both beloved Tomboyish Girl and Mountain of Faith. The included video primarily features the former shrine goddess, Suwako Moriya, training to be at the top of the food chain in Gensokyo. Roughly at the same time, a parody of this parody was made, called 9 Destiny, It's Always Cirno's Turn, only featuring Cirno and including many more notes of beloved Tomboyish Girl. The lyricism acts as a rebuttal to the original Kero 9, where Cirno insists that she's the strongest fairy in Gensokyo and that she's not an idiot. Several months would go by, and one more parody would be made that would absolutely dwarf the previous two in popularity. It's Always Teto's Turn, colloquially known as Teto Territory, is a direct parody of It's Always Cirno's Turn. One of Kasan Teto's most defining songs, yes, that Kasan Teto, is in fact just downstream from Touhou. Another Vocaloid track inspired by Touhou is Take It Easy, uploaded by Nico Nico user TSJD. The most obvious reference is this floating Miku head. This is a yukari, which are usually depicted as giant floating heads of Touhou characters. They get their names from the phrase they're typically depicted saying, yukari, or take it easy, which is what the song is titled from. Another reference in this video is this bit of Ronald McDonald raising his arms on the bowling alley screens. This is a nod to the popular Nico Nico video, Ronald McDonald Insanity, a mashup of Japanese McDonald's commercials arranged to a remix by Beat Mario of Flandre Scarlet's themes from Touhou 6, Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil. Touhou is also the basis point for dozens of games. The most obvious of these are Touhou fan games, of which there are many. Some notable examples include Touhou Luna Night, a Metroidvania, Yoyami Dancer, a rhythm game, and Bastia's Izakaya. Perhaps the most popular example of a game inspired by Touhou is Toby Fox's Undertale. The most obvious motif is spotted in the game's combat system, with several of the game's fights drawing similarities to spell cards from Touhou. This can be especially seen with the parallels between the Azrael Dreamer fight in Undertale and the Marissa fight in Touhou 8 Imperishable Night. Another parallel is the design of Toriel in Undertale, which is very similar to Sariel from Touhou 1. Toby Fox has been very clear about his inspirations from Touhou, and has even went drinking with Zun before. Spare for just Undertale, Touhou has also seeped its influence in dozens of games, enough of them to warrant its own page on the wiki. I'll do a real quick lightning round of my personal favorites. In Factorio, 2 of the included autofill names for train stations include Flandre Scarlet and Cirnos. Muse Dash contains Reimu and Marissa as playable DLC characters. World of Warcraft contains a quest called Tiny Clever Commander, where an objective is to kill Commander Nazrim. This is a nod to Nazrin from Touhou 12. In Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the cruise missile kill streak has 06 Yuan Owen was her, a nod to Flandre Scarlet's theme of the same name. Okay, this one isn't a game, but it was too bizarre to not include. In 2015, a boxing match was held between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. At the time, this was anticipated to be the highest grossing fight ever held, as both of these fighters were held in very high regards and had never shared the ring at that point. The fight itself ended up being a wash and is largely seen as a disappointment. Bizarrely, in the ESPN reporting of this, the host, Keith Olbermann, stole a graphic of Suika Ibuki trying to operate a camera off of DeviantArt, originally created by user Diamitigan.
Did you forget to put a quarter in the slot in the side of the camera? If that were not bad enough, the fight was actually delayed by 45 minutes while, in essence, promoters tried to make the TV machine-y thingy go on. And if that were not bad enough, eventually, it went on.
This was to poke at the fight's technical difficulties. Finally, I find it important to talk on some memes originating from Touhou. You've definitely seen this. This is a Fumo, and they're sets of collectible plushes manufactured by the Japanese company GIFT. Fumos are notoriously rare and expensive, and have long escaped Touhou's sphere of influence, with many being created for other series. YouTuber and Fumo collector Yumeme started making videos of his Fumos interacting with each other, with many of these garnering tons of views. This created a virality to Fumos and putting them into situations, including getting deep fried, put into car accidents, and shot. It's also important to talk about Touhou and its influence on image board culture. Recall the yukaris we discussed earlier. These were actually the result of some 2chan users' attempt at making ASCII art of Marissa and Reimu, with the text "Take it easy" and them coming out blobbish. Other users very quickly got to work at drawing their own renditions of yukaris, with them becoming popular enough to go into 2chan's official logo. Touhou is also a staple of other adjacent image boards like 4chan, 8kun, and 7chan. I feel like otaku culture was really important in establishing the early internet, and a very significant amount of this came from Touhou. You could consume hundreds of Vocaloid songs and not even realize the first non-demo Vocaloid song was a rendition of beloved Tomboyish Girl. Or maybe you own a Fumo of a non-Touhou character without even knowing what Touhou is as a franchise. Or maybe you've seen a silly video or image macro with Touhou characters with no previous exposure. At the end of the day, all roads lead to Touhou. Thank you for watching. It's at this point where I must thank our 6 channel members. Thank you, Gregor. Thank you, Dugu. Thank you, Solly. Thank you, XXAukmanXX. Thank you, Sebastian Mailbox, and thank you, Coburns. Your contributions mean more than you could ever realize, and I really cannot thank you enough. For $2 a month, channel members receive a neat little badge next to their name in the comment section, a thank you at the end of each video, exclusive commentary for each video I put out, and a role in the Discord server. Speaking of the Discord server, I encourage you to join if you haven't already. There's almost 50 very kind people all willing to chit chat with you about obscure games, not so obscure games, hobbies, and other assorted things. If you made it this far, it's clear you don't mind the videos I put out. If this is the case, I highly recommend you hit those buttons that every YouTuber tells you to press, and also leave a comment telling me about your personal experience with Touhou. Which game is your favorite? Have you 1cc'd any of them? I know I haven't. Thank you for watching.